Have you ever found yourself tossing and turning at night and replaying a conversation in your head over and over again? If yes, then this particular video is for you and will be of great value, as you may have a tendency to overthink things. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 tried and tested, healthy, effective coping strategies to deal with overthinking. Hi, I'm Vidhya, a counseling psychologist, a dancer, and an assistant professor. I'm here to help young adults discover themselves and be mindful about their mental health. Towards the end, I'm going to share my favorite coping strategy that personally has helped me overcome overthinking. No, I don't mean that I never overthink. What I mean is a particular tool that I have developed over a period of time, which I can always bring into practice the moment I realize the habit of overthinking has peeked into my life again. In this particular video, I'm also going to share a PDF which I have created based on a lot of research that I have done and curated a set of 10 coping strategies that you could instantly use and bring to practice if you are a person who is having a tendency to overthink in every small step of his or her life. So stay tuned to know more about this particular PDF as well. Overthinking doesn't sound that bad on the surface because thinking is something that we think is good. But when it comes to overthinking, what happens is we might actually end up having mental health problems such as these, and these. So the list is long, and we may have a tendency to also indulge in unhealthy coping ways such as indulging in substance abuse, or we might also binge eat. One particular very interesting research spoke about overthinking actually impacting creativity. Cerebellum, which is supposed to be involved in motor functions, is involved in higher order functioning of the brain, for example, creativity. Even for that matter, prefrontal cortex were traditionally associated with thinking, but they realized that the lesser the participants thought about what they're going to draw, the more creative they were. Mani Sagar, a psychiatrist at Stanford and the study's lead author, summarized that the more you think about it, the more you mess it up. So here comes a question as to what do we do? First is self-awareness. Before you begin to actually cope with overthinking, what one needs to know is when, how, and how much are you overthinking? If I ask you these questions right now, you may not have precise answer to these questions. But most of my clients have seen a lot of change and brought in a lot of clarity on the table the moment they logged their day and logged the time in which they were overthinking. So the next time you find yourself stressed, anxious, or overthinking, step back and look at the situation and how you're responding to it. You can pick up a notebook or download the PDF that I have shared. In the PDF, you will find a particular table where you can log the time and the day in which you are overthinking. After a period of time, let's say a month or a week, revisit this log. It will be much easier for you to find the whys and the reason behind you overthinking. Find a distraction. So when I say a distraction, it means not just an activity, but an activity that you personally enjoy doing. And obviously, it might be different for different people out there. So some activities that you could use to distract yourself is learning a new recipe, taking up a new hobby, or engage in an existing hobby such as painting or playing a musical instrument, engaging in your favorite workout session, and some other would be, just calling up your friend and talking to them on a completely different topic. If finding a distraction feels daunting, pick up a notebook or a paper and start writing the different kinds of activities that you would like to indulge in, and make sure that those activities are activities that you personally enjoy doing. Take a deep breath. Yeah, I know that you might have heard this a million times. Hearing it once again sounds weird, but hear me out. This does really help. Try this particular exercise and you would know why. Here's a good starter exercise to help you unwind with your breath. Find a comfortable place to sit and relax your neck and shoulders. Place one hand on your heart and other across the belly. Inhale and exhale through your nose, paying attention to how your chest and stomach move as you breathe. Trying to do this exercise at least 3 times a day for 5 minutes or whenever you find yourself overthinking. Recognize automatic negative thought, which means A and T. Use a notebook to track the situation giving you anxiety, your mood, and the first thought that comes to you automatically. As you dig into the details, evaluate the why situation. What is that particular situation that is causing you these negative thoughts? Moving forward, find an alternative to the original thought. For example, instead of jumping straight to say, oh, this is going to be an epic failure, try saying something like, I'm genuinely trying my best to do what I can. Schedule a time to overthink. Now, this might sound funny, but hear me out. All those who are actually having a problem of overthinking might really relate to this, that the moment you're actually working on something, you realize that this particular constant thought is hitting me, is bringing me into a loop, and I'm just not able to move out of that loop. So what do is tell yourself that, सुन, मैंने एक time fix किया है in the day, and I'm going to think about all that you want to think about in that particular time of the day. For example, let's say every day 7:30 or 8 I'm generally free, and you identify that time as a good time to overthink. Yeah, you heard me. You actually allow yourself to overthink and tell your brain that the other times that you are into any activity not to disturb you, and you have given this particular thinking a particular time in the day, and you will actually sit down and think about it. Schedule a time, remind yourself that you will think about it later. During this time, let yourself worry, ruminate, mull over whatever you want. Then when the time is up, move on and do something more productive. You do not have to solve everything on your own. There are people who are studying 5 years to really help you out, or anybody out there, in terms of stresses, anxiety, or overwhelming situations that you're not able to come out of. Cognitive behavior therapy, which is CBT, is a gold standard in psychotherapy and actually allows us to work with the clients with any particular unhealthy, unhelpful belief, attitude that that person might have. There are a whole lot of tools, coping strategies, only and only under CBT. There are many other, such as REBT, there is creative art therapy, there is expressive art therapy, and there is a whole lot of things that you can learn from a counselor, from a psychotherapist, from a therapist. So next time you have an overwhelming situation in your life, if you are not able to get benefited by any of the things that I have mentioned, or you might be practicing currently, don't hesitate to ask for help from a therapist or a counseling psychologist out there. And as I had promised, I'm going to share my personal best coping mechanism that personally has helped me overcome overthinking. Like I said, it doesn't mean that I never overthink, but it means that I have developed this particular skill. I actually schedule a time in the day and go and sit at around 7:30, like I mentioned before, or just before I go to sleep. That's the time I have where I really don't have any commitments, right? So it's easy to abide by the promise that I gave myself, that I will indulge in overthinking, and I do at least for 20 minutes, and I end the alarm and try to go off to sleep. It's still a little difficult, but trust me, it really takes out the load that I need to think about this throughout the day. So I know that I'm going to think at night, and my mind doesn't really trouble me while I'm actually into any particular important activity that I'm doing in the day. So try this. Also, I'm linking the PDF below, which will actually help you with these 5 coping strategies to develop it, to practice this. It has instructions as well as 5 other coping strategies that I haven't mentioned in this video, but they are available in the PDF as well. I'm also linking the blog that I have written, which will actually help you understand all these different strategies in much detail. So stay tuned for more videos on mental health and how you can discover yourself. See you.